lot of people who made absolutely phenomenal games previously who have taken to social media over the years, whether it's on a YouTube channel or on X or going into interviews where they've talked about the state of the industry, and they are completely misunderstanding why people are so upset with a lot of the developers now, a lot of the games that are releasing now, and a lot of the companies. And now a Half-Life writer has called out haters who hope games fail. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I'm accused all the time of hating games and hating this industry and wanting things to fail, but if anyone actually watches my channel, you know that's not the truth. I played over 60 games last year on stream. I probably played around 80 in total last year. I love video games. I want this industry to thrive, and companies are not going to get better if we just let them run around willy-nilly and believe they can create anything they want, and we're just going to shut up and consume content. If something is bad, you have to speak up about it. You have to voice your opinions. And sure, there are times where I am very punchy. There are times where I don't want to deal with developers who hate my guts, but I'm still going to critique their games, and I'm still going to call out the facts. And a lot of people in this industry do not like that because it is one filled with toxic positivity. If you are against them, they are going to try to get you kicked out from these companies. If you are against them, they're going to try to silence you. And now this Half-Life writer, Chet Folizek, has called out the haters who hope that games fail, and it just shows how much he misunderstands this industry. He said, if you hate game developers, you hate games. If you're cheering on for things to fail, if you think game developers have no idea about games and only you, just keep it to yourself. And this is so funny because now, this means if you are just not interested in playing something, you hate game developers. Now it means that if you criticize games, you hate game developers. Like, what does that mean here if you hate game developers? There are plenty of times where game developers hate us. They will insult us, they will belittle us, they will attack us. Are you going to write a post like this as well about that? Oh, if you hate gamers, you hate games. If you are cheering for people to be silenced simply because they don't like a product, and if you think gamers have no idea what they want to consume, just keep it to yourself. No, of course they're not going to go and say something like that because it doesn't help push the narrative. This is so sad to see because it just shows how little he understands what the industry has come to. People don't just want things to fail. We want companies to get better. We want products to get better. And we do, yes, have the ability to criticize bad companies and bad games and just bad people. When was Chet speaking out about how, oh, there are game developers who are celebrating the fact that a political commentator got murdered? Have I seen a post from Chet like that? No. He would probably say, well, that doesn't have to do with games. Of course it does, because the game developers are talking about it. Where has Chet been when gamers have been silenced on forums? Where has Chet been when gamers have been attacked by the game's media and the developers who need us to swipe our credit cards on their products? That's right, Chet hasn't made any statements on that. Probably because he wants to make another game. Probably because he wants in the industry. This is why people like David Jaffe, for example, have created YouTube channels. It's because he is no longer relevant, and so he is upset over that. He created God of War. I love God of War. I think that God of War is great. But does that mean I have to agree with everything David Jaffe says or does? Of course not. I love Half-Life. Half-Life is great. There are plenty of people out there who love Half-Life. Does that mean we have to agree with Chet or we can never play Half-Life again? Of course not. Just because you criticize game developers doesn't mean that you hate games. And he's saying hate as if that has a clear definition now. It clearly doesn't. I can hate things that game developers say. I can hate the game developers' products, but that doesn't mean I hate them as human beings and I want something bad to happen to them. Of course not. He is getting wrecked here. If you don't make games people like, we're not going to get them. Simple as. No, I will not keep it to myself. I'll continue being loud and obnoxious over it. The consumer governs the market. Find another job if that's not your thing. Yeah, how many industries are there where people can work on something for a decade, get hundreds of millions of dollars to make said product for a decade, attack their customers, make no money, and then still have a job after that? Not many. If you make something bad, you don't deserve your job anymore. And if you make something bad, you're allowed to be criticized over it. Don't hold us accountable, accept our trash with a smile on your face. No. Gamers only hate games that want to deliver a message, that are openly pushing political agendas, that are uglifying characters, that want to educate people instead of entertain, that want to own the chuds. If you make games for this reason, you deserve to fail. And here's a very long list that obviously I'm not going to read off all of them, but we have a few like Star Wars Outlaws, South of Midnight, Dragon Age the Veilguard, Dustborn, Concord, Marvel's Avengers, Gotham Knights, Relooted. Lots on this list. Chet is not wrong, but also the industry has been delivering broken launches and live service disasters for years. Gamers didn't wake up hating developers, they got burned enough times that hope turned into skepticism. Accountability and hate are two completely different things. The Half-Life, Portal, and Left 4 Dead writer called out the toxic trend of people rooting for games to fail before even launching. I love Left 4 Dead as well. I forgot that he was even on that he was even a creator of that. And yeah, it's just unfortunate that someone like Chet clearly doesn't want to have a discussion about what's happening in the industry and instantly sides with game developers. You had a career and you got big because of gamers and because you created something good that people love and games that people are still talking about today, like Portal, Half-Life, and Left 4 Dead, and you still have no respect for gamers. That's pretty sad. Making games is incredibly hard work. People who just want to see developers fail do not really care about gaming at all. It's so funny that they say that making games is incredibly hard work when we're not saying it's easy, and we're also not saying that every single game needs to be perfect. We just need games to be good. And unfortunately, a lot of them now aren't. They push political propaganda, they're low quality, they're monetized poorly, they prioritize things like with 1348X Photo hiring great voice actresses instead of making really good gameplay, and their budget go to insane things like, we're not saying that games are super easy to make, but also if you go back 20 years in this industry, development teams were like 20 people, and they probably had like 10 to 20 million dollars for games on the high end, and games were a billion times better than what they are today. Yeah, dude, another 500 million for Concord 5. Let's show these peasants. This guy whines about haters while not making the game that fans actually want to play. Haters wanted Highguard to fail because they don't want more games going in that direction. This is a business, not a charity, and maybe Chet is a little bit upset that his previous game, the Anacrusis, did not do so good. This is an image that is legitimate of this game. This is what they decided to promote it with. It was basically Starfield, but with creatures, like alien creatures, and a really bad UI, like very low budget. But yeah, this is what he previously worked on. So I think he's just a little bit upset that he can't get millions and millions of dollars to make games that he wants anymore. And so he's trying to get in the good graces of these larger companies. So yeah, he has called out the haters who hope games fail while completely misunderstanding how we got to this point in the industry. And really, it just looks super pathetic. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.